Thanks for tuning in again, everybody. We're back with your favorite podcast, Luca's Tigers and Bronze. Oh my.
Luca Nation. Whew. I'm fired up. Moving day is not easy. We got the family leaving tomorrow. I got a friend arriving today. New Year's is right around the corner. I hope you guys had an amazing Christmas. If you guys don't know, today's what's called Boxing Day, which is like a United Kingdom European English tradition where the day after Christmas, all the people go to the pubs at like 7 a.m. and just start drinking all day and watch football, the real football, soccer. So I don't know if we have any soccer fans out there, but today's Boxing Day. Cage, how was your Christmas?
In my house, it's Boxing Day, but only because Ian got boxing gloves and pads. We got mitts, so he's been boxing all morning. So much so that we just watched Ali. We watched the Ali movie. That was a good one too. And Ian has proclaimed that Ali was the greatest boxer. But then he wanted to know how come when he plays Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, how come Muhammad Ali's not in it? He should be the fight before Tyson, he says. I said, all right, well, maybe you'll make a Muhammad Ali's Punch-Out when you get older or something. So it's Boxing Day here too, obviously.
I remember when I was a kid, my parents had me super young. My mom was 19, my dad was 25, and they came over to the U.S. and they were living life. So my grandma raised me in a lot of ways. And I remember watching the Holyfield versus Tyson fight with her, staying up till midnight. She let me do this. I was like 8 years old. And watching Tyson bite off that guy's ear. Yep. Savagery, right?
I'll bet you they fight again soon, though.
That was crazy. You think so?
Yeah, I bet you they fight again. I mean, I think the Tyson-Roy Jones thing made some money. So if there's enough people who are willing to plunk down the pay-per-view money for it, then yeah, I mean, I think they'll probably, if they, I mean, I don't know if I'm Holyfield if I get in the ring with him again, but
he's a different Mike Tyson now.
I'm sure there's enough money.
He's on that herb. He's tranquil. He's peaceful.
I'm sure there's enough money in it. I mean, that's all. I mean, what else? What are you supposed to say? I'm sure there's enough money in it.
So, guys, today and this weekend, really, I mean, starting yesterday, it's a sports fan's dream.
Oh, yeah.
Yesterday we had 5 NBA games. Today we have 3 NFL games. We have NBA full slate top to bottom, college basketball. We have NFL week. Is it week 16 this week?
It is week 16, yes.
What a dream. What did you make of every single favorite won yesterday in the NBA? And frankly, was it even close?
Well, yeah, all the games are starting to become blowouts, right? I mean, it's interesting. What did I make of the favorites winning? Favorites winning big time. They were pretty mismatched games. Luka has no supporting cast. Clippers look real good. The Nets look real good. I mean, it's only been done a couple times in NBA history, right, where a team has won their first 2 games by more than 25 points. They said, it doesn't necessarily guarantee success, but the Celtics did it twice in the 60s, and they went on to win the championship. But, I mean, look, that's more a matter of who they played. My kid James Wiseman. I don't know if you guys. It's not just that you look at his stats and he had 18 or 19 points. It's just the way he's much more fluid. Ball would all get crazy about him. You watch him, he just doesn't look fluid out there. Wiseman, he had 3 3-pointers, 7-footer. I mean, just looks like a man child. And when the other people out there start to talk about him, like I think I saw a tweet from Donovan Mitchell saying like this kid Wiseman's the real deal and is going to be a problem for the league. Like that means something when you get in the eye after 2 games. And the reason why he's kind of sneaking up on people too is he only played like a game or 2 for Memphis. I watched him play a game. I remember it was like shrouded with craziness because he was under NCAA investigation. And was he going to play? Was he not going to play? And then they like appealed it. They went to court and appealed it so he could play a game. And I mean, like, talk about like the drama that was there when he was playing in Memphis. Penny Hardaway, there was some kind of craziness. And then I think he played like a couple of games, maybe. So you never knew what you were going to get out of him. And he had COVID stuff and he had all kinds of craziness. He didn't really practice with the team. So he's only going to get better as he meshes with the team. So, yeah, that was my takeaway from yesterday. He's had some garbage time minutes also. So that doesn't hurt a young kid's stat line. So keep that in mind as well.
He reminds me of Embiid a little bit.
He's not as like stocky as Embiid. Maybe he'll grow into it. Remember, he's only 19. He's not as like bulky. I think he's he's more of an athletic, like more fluid. Like Embiid, I can't see him making his way through the lane. Like this guy, he's still like, I don't want to call him wiry. He's not wiry, but he's still like, fluid enough with the ball in his hand or moving around where he just doesn't like clog stuff up. Like Embiid's just a big dude. This guy's not small either,
Embiid's pretty agile for his size,
he
but
is.
I think I'm with you, man. I think Wiseman's going to be the best player of this draft. Let me ask you something. I saw this, and this is an account I respect a lot. Lethal Shooter, and I had to call him out because I love this guy. He teaches the X's and O's of shooting. He had the audacity to say Kyrie is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, so is Matthew Stafford. Everybody's allowed to have their opinion, man. I'm not going to use that silly, saying. Yeah. At least you muted it for that resin hit cough there, a little bong hit cough.
You're a fool.
Yeah. That fancy stuff you're smoking down there in Mexico. But I mean, everybody's allowed to have their opinion.
You couldn't let that slide. You couldn't let
they're
that
allowed
slide.
to be wrong.
When you two-hand guzzle down 2-liter sodas and I don't say a word.
Yeah, here we go.
But I cough once on camera and it's a resin hit. Jesus. Come on. We have a community. We have a community.
So we're talking about Kyrie. It's possible that he is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Possible. If he retired today, no. If he retired today, no. That said, he has looked really good. He's looked very, very good. People don't realize, I mean, he came in the league 10 years ago. I mean, you compare him to people who have been in the league a lot longer than him. LeBron's 10 years in the league before him, 8 years in the league before him. Harden, Kevin Durant, all these guys, they have many, many years on him. He came in around the same time as like a Jimmy Butler. You don't think of Jimmy Butler on the tail end of his career, but for some reason, I don't know, maybe it's the Uncle Drew movies. You think Kyrie's on the downslope, but he's not. Guys like Dame Lillard. I mean, talk about the 2012 Prism set that I like to talk about all the time. These guys all have rookies in that set. Kyrie's got a rookie in there. Kemba Walker has got a rookie in there. Anthony Davis has a rookie in there. Kawhi. I mean, these are guys you expect to have things happen for them going forward, right? I mean, Anthony Davis, you think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, number 2 player in the NBA? Most likely, right? But how many times has Davis won a championship? 1 with LeBron. How many times has Kyrie won a championship? 1 with LeBron. I'm not comparing Kyrie to Anthony Davis, but I guess maybe I am. It's not an argument I would make, but I don't view it as far-fetched.
Also have suffered some injury concerns, also been on and off the court, also switched teams. I see the comparison. And, a few times I've asked myself, am I being biased? And I love this question, am I seeing the picture clearly? I think a lot of life isn't the answers, it's the questions we ask ourselves. And it's, am I seeing the board clearly? Am I being too hard on Kyrie, Is there an angle? Is there an opportunity to play Kyrie cards? Mm-hmm. He's not my play today, so I want that to be clear. But it's a question I ask myself because he has gotten a little bit of a bad rep. I think well-deserved, but it's something to consider, especially his rookie 2012 Prism is such a low-pop card.
It's funny. I don't know what those cards are at now, but I remember when everybody else's cards were flying. When Clay's card was 15, 1600 and these cards were starting to go up. I remember looking at the Kyrie and he was injured and stuff, and it was, $200. In PSA 10, 300. I don't know what it's at now, but I remember thinking it's low value. I'm sure it's not now. But, I think with Kyrie, why I would stay away from him as a pick for cards is he's really not a liked player. You know what I mean? Like part of what you think about when you invest in your players, right, is I mean, you want to invest in, that's my guy. We use the Lefko clip over and over and over again, right? But really, do you want to invest in him? I mean, I don't really like him. He's not likable. He comes out and says things that you want to be like, dude, come on, help yourself. It makes me think of like his poor agent is in like a Jerry Maguire mode, right? Like, help me, help you, And I mean, I couldn't put money into him, even though Ian Ian wants to root for the Nets. I think he not from Santa, but from a friend of mine. We do like a late Christmas with it, with his kids. I'm pretty sure he's getting 2 jerseys from him. He's getting the Kyrie like Brooklyn one, and he's getting the Tyler Hero one. So I mean, obviously, not everybody hates him. And listen, give him some credit. They've looked good.
Yeah. Can I dovetail this into my play?
Unless you play as Karis LeVert. Because I was actually looking at him, by the way. So it is a good dovetail. This isn't going to be my play, but I was actually thinking, let me give a LeVert play because it's going to be he's really, really good, and he's played really well with these guys, and he's had some mop up garbage time, and he might be traded because if they look for like a defensive chip down the road, maybe they trade a LeVert, who's somebody who doesn't really have a role on the team. And then I looked up his PSA 10 Prism rookie card. You know how much it sells for, dude? Just a base PSA 10.
I'm assuming 150 to 300.
Yeah,
for a bench number 8 or number 6, 7, 8 guy off the bench. Wow. Let me ask you, Cage, if there's one guy in the NBA right now that resembles Kevin Durant's game, who would it be?
Oof, that resembles Kevin Durant's game. I mean, Durant fans will tell you nobody, right?
Right. And he's not nearly where Durant is, but Jason Tatum has a similar style.
Yeah. I mean, it's not as tall, but yes, I can see that he's a similar type of game, both defensive, below average players, but instant offense. I can see that.
This is to me a no-brainer investment. This to me is the investment that you guys should make that will pay off short and long term. Now, I got very fortunate or unfortunate, depending on how you guys look at it. Today I was trying to finalize this villa that I'm moving into, and it was just a pain in the butt for like 3 hours. And my mom had a good piece of advice. She said, if it's meant for you, it will be. And the PSA report today didn't load. So if it's meant to be, it will be. But my play is Jason Tatum Prism. And I think the play is actually a silver Prism PSA 10.
Wow.
It's expensive, right, Cage? So that's why I don't necessarily want to bring that play, because I want to give people options. And I want to bring them lower buy-in points. You may take a look at the Prism base PSA 10, but I couldn't get the pop report to load. So I don't know if that's actually I don't know how low the pop is. I know it's much lower than Trey. I know it's much lower than Zion. I know it's much lower than Luka, but I don't know how much. But I'm well aware that the silver Prism from 2017 is one of the lowest pop prisms there are out there, minus like Giannis, I guess, from 2012 or 13. But why do I pick Tatum? One, he's in a huge market. Boston has as loyal fans as it comes, and it doesn't seem like he's going anywhere. Second, I think he's just hitting his stride, Cage. Third, Kemba is pretty banged up, and that knee injury, you brought it up, is more severe than we think it is.
Yeah,
that means that Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are going to have to step up. Jaylen Brown is well worth a look. He's not my play today. So Tatum is going to have more scoring. He looks good. He's getting into his third year. I love players. This is a weird thing that just had a kid. I feel like having a baby changes your perspective on life. You party less. You're more responsible. Actually, fun fact, Jordan Peterson, Instagram guy or YouTuber who helps people kind of live their best life. He talks about the power of responsibility. I see Tatum taking a huge step forward this year. And because the pop is so low on that silver, I think if he has a season that's similar to Luka's, I think he might have a better season than Luka's, given what his opportunity is and his supporting cast. I think that silver Prism PSA 10 might hit $8,000.
Well, quick question.
Sure.
Did he call glass?
No, he did not.
I don't think he called glass.
but here's the thing. Here's the thing. And this is something that if you don't play basketball, you don't realize. Why do greats get lucky? Well, they have really good fundamentals. Like his line was good. His form was good. Sure, he shot. It was off and it banked. It was ugly shot. But Kobe once banked in a game winner over Dwayne Wade. Is it luck, or does he have the right mechanics and he puts himself in the spot to make that shot? And you're going to get fortunate. You're going to get lucky. So Tatum is really fundamentally sound. His game is so silky. He could finish with his left hand. He could finish with his right hand. He could get to the rim. He could pull up mid-range. He could get in the post and fade. He's just an unbelievable offensive player. And I think his defense has come around. And I think this is a really interesting year where he has a ton of leadership opportunity. I think Kemba is going to be on the bench for a lot of the year. And I would actually argue that Marcus Smart is an unbelievable replacement for Kemba. That was actually your play a little bit earlier in the year.
Yeah, you made
Marcus
fun of
Smart,
me. You made fun of me. You're the basketball guy. You made fun of me for that one. You're like, I can't believe you're giving Marcus Smart as a pick. And then, of course, he went out and had like a 30-point triple-double. And I'm like, look at me. Look at me. I'm a genius.
Well, I would love Marcus Smart on my team just for the hobby. I don't know if he's a cardboard relevant, a term you coined.
It's a great term. And you're right.
But I think Tatum is cardboard relevant. His pop is a fraction of what the pop of Luka, Trey, Zion is. And I think it's undoubtedly that he's on that level. I would sometimes argue that he's maybe a little bit above their level. Look at the success he's had. Has any other guy had that success? So that's my play. I think the Silver Prism PSA 10 is the play. Of course, that's a super high buy-in point. Just monitor that market. I brought you guys the Jason Tatum NBA Hoops PSA 10 play. Maybe take a look at that if you want a lower buy-in point. That's a $180 card, $200 card. So that's my play today.
Is this the year for a Celtics play? I mean, with the East being as top heavy as it is, are you concerned about putting in a Tatum play, a Celtics play, when the thought process really is that it's probably the Bucks year, or maybe it's the Heat year, or that the Celtics might have a tougher time making their way through the the Eastern Conference this year?
Or yes, but you don't have to hold necessarily to that point. I think a rising tide a rising tide
lifts all ships.
Well, I think actually the East being really good is going to lift all ships. I think Trey cards will go up. I think we might even see Ben Simmons cards go up. I don't know, but I think it's actually good for his cards. And I don't think you necessarily have to hold till he gets to the finals. I think he's going to have a really, really solid season. I think we could see 26, 28, maybe even 30 points a game from this guy. Top of the league. He'll be first or second, the Celtics in that division. I think it's a worthwhile question, Cage. I'm not going to sit here and predict what the Celtics do this season, but I think Tatum is going to take that next step up.
I have to apologize because I got the PSA pop page to load up, and I was right looking at Tatum, and I saw the Prism. There was Gold Prism, Fast Break, and I did not get to the Silver Prism pop number, and my phone rang, my home phone. Yes, I'm old enough. I still have an old phone, so I picked it up, and I put it on our call on mute, and now I went back over to the PSA page, and it crashed. I'm like, God damn it! I was gonna be able to give some great info for this play and give you what the pop was, because I legit had it. I was so excited, and I'm like, and you know what was so important? The 11th person this month wants to sell me solar power for my roof. Just an important thing. I need to have that phone call. I need to have solar. All right, I like it. I like the play on Tatum. He's I don't think you can argue probably top 5 in the league right now. A little nervous about what's going to wind up happening in the Eastern Conference, because it is clearly a top-heavy conference. But all right, I had a couple plays I was going to be able to go with today. I like to kind of work off of what you give. So when you give a really high price play like this, you go high, I go low. Just like the Obamas, right? Is that what they said? So if you're going to give an expensive one, I'm going to try to give a bargain play for our folks. And I've talked about this before. And my play today is going to be Carmelo Anthony. You can go a couple different ways with this. I'm going to give you one specific play, guys. But there are other ones out there that are, similar to this. But guys, here's where I want to go. I mean, if you might not have heard me talk about this previously, I'm a Carmelo fan. I was happy he came to the Knicks. I think he doesn't get his due. I think he's going to have a great season with Portland. Portland going to be a very good team. Home playoff type of team, top 4 seed in the Western Conference. I think he's going to play a role in that. He's already had a good game. I think he had scored 15 points, something like that. But as we start the season here, Carmelo Anthony is number 15 all time in points, and he presently sits grand total of 35 points behind Tim Duncan. So he has 26,461 and Duncan has 26,496. There's another 200%. I'll put him at 14. Another 200 points behind. Just listen to the names as I throw these out there for you guys, because you might not think of these type of players when you think of Carmelo Anthony, right? Because he's basically always been in LeBron's shadow. But he's 3 games, 2 good games, but 3 games away from passing Tim Duncan for 14th. Couple 100 points, 200 points behind Dominique Wilkins, 250 points behind Oscar Robertson, 450 points. So what's that? At 15 a game, 30 games halfway through the season. He'll pass Hakeem Olajuwon in 11th. And Elvin Hayes is 10th. And he is, about 850 points behind him. So, if you give him, 15 points a game, what is that? 50 games in? I mean, I'm trying to round down. But at this season, Carmelo Anthony is going to move into the top 10. And he has a shot to move, past Moses Malone. I don't think he catches Shaq at 8 this season. But you're talking about, think of the list of scorers, all-time scorers in all of the NBA history. He will only be behind Kareem, Karl Malone, LeBron, Kobe, Michael Jordan, Dirk Nowitzki, Wilt Chamberlain, and Shaq by the middle of this season. And nobody's thinking about this. Nobody's looking at it now. So I'm going to give you, a cheap play. And again, you guys can do this many different ways. But this particular card, I've counted on eBay. I'm not going to go buy them all right now, but I counted on eBay. It is a 2003 rookie card. It's an actual rookie card of him from Upper Deck. And there are currently, including the ComC listings, there are 28 of these. As I record this, 28 of them available for $5 or less. That is a Carmelo Anthony Upper Deck rookie from 2003, where you can buy in bulk at $5 a piece or less of one of the top 10 scorers of all time in the NBA history. And it's the 2003 Upper Deck Rookie Exclusives basketball card number 3. It's a cool looking card. You see it has orange borders. You've seen the LeBron version of it. It's a cool picture of Melo. I picked this one because it's him. He's got the ball behind him. He's got the powder blue Denver uniform on. It looks like he's making a muscle. It's kind of silly. He's like, he's showing his bicep in one hand, and the other hand he's dunking the ball. Now, of some of these 30, I looked. Some of them, you can tell. Just look at the pictures. They got bad corners. They got some white on the edges. Don't buy the crappy ones. Try to buy yourself a nice one. And obviously, if you want to spend a little more money, you can find this card in better condition if you want to spend more than the $5. And that's perfectly fine. A fallback on this also, same price range, because Upper Deck had a lot of sets in 2003, as you'd expect with LeBron there. I see multiples of this card for less than $3. I'm looking at one right now, $2.99. I've talked about this one before. I have the card myself. It's 2003 Upper Deck MVP card number 203, Carmelo Anthony rookie with the Nuggets. Same kind of thing. Cool picture of him, with the ball, 2-hand behind his head, looking like he's about to dunk. These are the kind of cards, guys, where if you stock up on them now, and like I said, $2.99, amazing, right? If you stock up on these things now, then once you start seeing those headlines, once the middle of the season hits, once it's, February, March, and you start to see the ESPN articles about him, and you start to see the games start to be published with, all right, the Trailblazers are playing whoever they're playing, and Carmelo needs 15 more points to move into the top 10. He needs, however many more points. There's going to be coverage on it. People are going to be going to eBay looking for rookie cards on him. And sure, you want to buy some more expensive ones, that's fine too. But I think you'll be able to probably flip these cards that you're able to buy now for $5 for 10 or 15 or 20 or who knows. I think it's just an easy flip play. You can buy them now and put them up on Star Stock if you want to. You can buy them now and just, relist them yourself on eBay for later in the season when he's getting all the headlines. There's a million different ways to play this one. I just gave you 2. He's got a Flair card. He's got a Mystique card. He's got, the pristine cards. He's got Topps cards. He's got all kinds of cards out there. Like I said, 03, when LeBron was, was coming out, there was a whole lot of basketball releases. Not too dissimilar from what we're looking at now with Luka, Trey, and Zion, and the rebirth of the hobby again with the next generation of folks coming into it with what Panini's doing. It seems like it's a release every 3 hours. So There's my play for you. It's exactly the opposite of Tatum. It's not somebody who's at the beginning of his career, looking down the barrel in a long career of putting up numbers. It's somebody who's already put up those numbers. Yeah, he didn't win a title. A lot of people are saying Portland's got a shot this year, so who knows? That would be a nice capper for him. But more important to me is the fact that I like to look for plays and guys where there's going to be, some sort of a catalyst to increase the price. And it's not every day you see somebody vault into the top 10 scorers of all time. It hasn't happened in a while. Obviously, last year we got to see, LeBron pass Kobe for third. But the type of scoring that we're talking about here, there's there's not that many people in the league who you're going to have this type of a headline for. I think we talked about Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant has, just under 23,000 points. So you're talking about him, he's 3,500 points. That's a lot of points to score, 3,500 points behind where Carmelo is. So, assuming he keeps playing, he stays healthy and keeps playing at a decent clip, you might be able to talk about Durant moving into this level too. But, as we talked about in the beginning here, Durant's, that's a generational talent as well. That's a first ballot Hall of Famer and all that fun stuff. So, Melo doesn't get talked about in the same breath as Kevin Durant is. I don't see many Twitter influencers or people up there posting their pictures of Carmelo cards. So that's it, guys. I wanted to try to bring you something a little opposite of what Andrew gave today. Some would say I'm opposite of Andrew every day. We appreciate it, guys. Hope you're spending some time with your families. Hopefully you have some time off and enjoy the sports today. Hope you guys enjoyed this stuff. We have, it's a day of football, a lot of basketball, a lot of fun stuff going on. So enjoy and keep the comments coming. We asked you to send them in over the last couple episodes, and we're getting a lot of DMs. A couple more people asked to get into our Instagram groups. So if that's something you're interested in, just send us a message. We'll get you in. Thanks, everybody. Thank you for spending some time with us on another episode of the Lucas, Tigers, and Bronze Oh My podcast. Do us a favor and like, subscribe. You know what? Don't just like and subscribe. Everybody does that. If you like us, tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your enemies, tell everybody. And we hope you got something from spending some time with us today, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.